What's up, everybody? Got Carlos, Willem, Evgene. What's up, guys? Got a couple new faces, some familiar faces. Got Bennis, got Belko.
Hey,
What's up, guys? Good to see you all. Love seeing all the faces. Everybody here, because when you're on camera, when you're live, you're more connected, you pay more attention. They've done studies that actually show you retain way more information from actually being engaged and active than having it on in the background. So good stuff, guys. All right, awesome. So there's a couple of guys. We'll just kick off right now since we're here. So people can come in, catch the recordings. But so for I know we got some new faces today too, and some people yesterday. So for you guys yesterday, what insights did you notice from assignments yesterday? What did you notice as you were talking to people? Not everybody at once, though. Like one at a time. All right, awesome, cool. So if we'll jump into today because today we're going to get into actually more of the behavior profiling and looking at what causes people to make decisions. But I can't emphasize this enough, right? If you're going to be here, like you could be doing anything, right? If you're going to take the time to be here and actually learn this, go implement the stuff. Like I'm going to give you practical exercises to do. I'm going to give you some more today. It's going to build, and you can do it in your day to day. You don't have to take extra time. You don't have to go do anything special. But if you don't actually implement it, if you don't actually use any of it, if you're just like, okay, that was cool, and then go about your normal day, then you're not going to really actually get anything out of this training. And it's just going to be like, okay, that was cool. And it's just going to be another training that, just another thing that you saw. So I would encourage you to, this is all about action, right? If we really want to get something out of this and actually change the way that you're reading and interacting and behaving with other people, really, really go in. So, what's up, Ryan? Welcome. All right. So we're gonna build off yesterday. So if you didn't see yesterday, go back and watch the recording after this. If you did, we're gonna keep building on it. So yesterday we we looked at this, right? Cool. Thank you everybody for drawing. Love a bunch of scribbles on the whiteboard. Boom. All right. So what is actually driving people's motivations? All right. What is it? What's actually going on under the hood? If you get this part, if you literally just got nothing but this, you would understand why everybody's doing what they're doing in life. And you'll see people's motivations that they're not going to tell you about. Desire, yep, definitely desire, but desire for what? So a lot of times when you ask people what they want, there's gonna be what they say. Right? They're gonna tell you, they're gonna say, I want, most people are gonna tell you they want more money, they want more connection. Most people are gonna give you some vague idea of what they want, which is good. Um, but below that, again, I'm watching what they do. Because what people say they want versus what they do will actually show you two very different things. And again, I don't really care about the words people say, I care about their actions and what they do. Beneath all of that, and this is is fear of loss or survival. So at the end of the day, every single person you meet is operating, they're afraid of losing something, they're afraid of something that threatens their survival, their well-being, they're afraid there's a fear. And fear is a very, and like we talked about yesterday, I'm not a big fan of pain-based selling and twisting the knife and making people feel like shit. So they buy stuff. But understanding that everybody below the hood does have fears governing their life, every single one of us, myself included. I'm not exempt from any of this. So there's four categories that you're going to be able to put anybody into. There's, and the crazy thing about this, all right, I like we got a very scribbly whiteboard. Um, so the crazy thing about this, so I'm going to give you four different drivers that are going to be driving anybody at any given time. But the important thing to notice with this is it's not etched in stone. So what does that mean? It means that the person that you're talking to might have a different desire in one moment than a different context. They might be in one phase of life and then they might move into a different phase of life. So these are the four drivers, and every single person you meet is going to be driven by one of these at any given time. So the first is going to be survival or self-preservation. In other words, somebody is actively aware down here at the bottom that they've got some fear of loss, that they're losing something, and they're actively trying to avoid it. Um, I've got a person right now who I'm in conversation with about possibly doing some one-on-one work together. This person is very concerned. They're going to talk about money, but the real driver for this person is self-preservation, because if they don't fix the money thing, they lose a lot, which in this case probably looks like marriage and house. So they're going to say they want money, but if you just talk to the person, their entire conversation is about what they're going to lose. So if we go back to yesterday's model, right, and this is where we're going to start to put it together. So the state, we've got focus, so we've got their focus, we've got their self-talk, which is how they're narrating and interpreting events. And then we've got their body, their physical, what are they actually physically doing? So the idea yesterday was to start listening to people and ask yourself, what are they focused on? What's the picture that they see in their head? What does the person see happening? And a lot of times this is going to tell me, if I can understand what the picture in the person's head is, I can see what their need is, what their priority is. So if I'm talking to somebody and everything they're talking about is losing, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that, I'm going to lose that, I know that their brain is very, very focused on self-preservation and survival, which also means that that's what they're seeing happening. Because if somebody, you ever hear somebody, they go, I've got a fear of failure. Everybody ever hear that? Yeah. There's no such thing as fear of failure. That's not a thing. It's somebody sees themselves failing and now they have a bunch of anxiety about failing. But a generalized fear of failure, because if you had confidence, or if you were truly confident that no matter what, everything was going to work out, you're going to get what you want, you wouldn't be afraid of failing. You'd be excited about it. So there's no fear of failure. That's like this vague fear of failure. It's always somebody's brain sees them failing, and that's why they're focused on it. So the survival self-preservation person is afraid of loss, right? They're focused on what am I going to lose? And next person is going to be focused on money. Now, this is going to be the way this differs is this person is more focused on gaining than avoiding loss. So if I'm talking to somebody who, for example, one of my clients is a private equity investor that just did a couple of fundraising rounds for, I think it was 21 million. And the whole point of it was he wasn't worried about losing, right? He didn't need to, there's nothing to lose. He's already kind of won the money game in a sense. So for him, money was focused on gaining money for a cause, a purpose, and he does some stuff with his community and helps kids out. So for him, it was very money driven as a gain. So I'm talking to two people, and here's where this gets nuanced. I'm talking to two different people, both are going to tell me they want more money. But if I'm listening to what's really going on, one of these people is focused on surviving. He's focused on not losing his house and his wife. And the other person is focused on actually gaining money so that they can do something with it. So that's the money person. The next person is going to be, call it sex, love, or romance. This person is more focused on the connections in their life. This person wants to either meet someone, fall in love, improve their relationship. Maybe they're in a relationship, but they want to get it better. Whatever it is, this is what's missing from this person's life is they want to get more of this. And you'll hear this because now, again, the person might talk about money. The person might say, I want to make more money. But if you get into it, what they really want is they really want to create an experience for their partner so that they can actually get more sexual romance. So is this making sense? Are you seeing how this all comes together? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian? Saw you pop in. Good to see you, man.
Um, I say it's making sense.
Yeah, all good, man. Good to see you.
Like,
So, yeah, so sex, love, romance is going to be that person. And then the last person here is going to be looking for some sort of recognition. This also could be approval. This also could be significance. There's different ways this shows up. But in other words, this person wants to be seen. This person doesn't want anything physical necessarily. They just want respect. They want status. They want other people to see them in a certain way. Acceptance. Yeah. It could be for some people it could be acceptance. It's going to show up in different ways, right? But in different people, some people are going to want to be, how this can work, right? You might have some people that, um, to go with acceptance, for example, some people might want to be recognized as part of a group, right? Some people might want to get membership into some sort of club, right? Somebody else might want recognition for all their hard work, and even though they're not part of the group, they did some notable accomplishment, achievement, and they want to be seen for that. So some other people might, let's say you take the guy who is flexing his new Lamborghini, right? He wants recognition. He wants recognition for the wealth, the success, whatever it is. Yeah, accepted in life, valuable, worthy, good enough. Yeah, you're going to see all of these, right? And it's going to be, this is why it's so important to treat this as reading an individual person, not just assuming that everybody's the same, right? Which is why when we're talking to people, I want to know what's the focus. What do they see in their head? What's the picture that this person's imagining happening, both when they get what they want and what are they afraid of happening? So, like we talked about a little bit yesterday, most people, if you ask a lot of people what they want, they're going to be really good at telling you what they don't want. Right? If you're an research sales, you ask people what they want, and they'll give you a list of I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. So what that tells me is that their focus is on what they don't have, and their drivers are going to be filling some sort of gap. So how do I how do we know which one of these somebody falls into? Well, sometimes it's going to be really obvious, right? This is why I'm not a big fan of following just like a copy paste sales script, is because you miss critical data, right? I was on a sales call as a customer the other day, and it was the same. It was I knew the script. I knew the exact script they were using because it was the exact question in this exact order, and the person missed. Now, fortunately, I'm an easy buyer. Like I'm a big believer in be the buyer you want to attract. So if you want people to say yes to you and spend money with you and be open to you, you've got to give that out. Right? I don't have the scientific backing for that. It's not some peer-reviewed study, double-blind placebo test or anything like that. But in my experience, I found that the better I am at showing up a certain way, I attract people that are the same way. So I'm a big believer in be the buyer that you want to attract. So I got on this call with the intent to buy, and the guy missed. Now again, fortunately, I'm a pretty easy buyer. But if I hadn't been, probably would have missed the sale because he missed what actually drove me and motivated me. So when you're talking to people, I always ask I want to know what the problem. I want to know what's going on in their life, but then I also want to know what they want. And the way they describe what they want is going to tell me which of these they fall into. So the crazy thing about this, though, here's the really important part that you gotta catch this is people at different points in their lives will be in different buckets. So imagine somebody who you talk to him and he's like, man, I'm just like, things are really, really, really tough right now. I'm just trying to find a place to live. Right. I'm just trying to not lose my ass. Right. So now we know this person's probably in survival or self-preservation. Right. Then they get out of the crisis mode, and you might talk to him a couple months later. He's like, yeah, things are really good. Now I want to move up into a bigger house. Right. So I'm really trying to afford that next level of mortgage payment. Great. Now that person's focused on making more money. Now, great, I moved into the house, but now this big house is kind of lonely, and I really want to get out and start meeting more people. I'm working a lot, and I'm just, I want to connect with more people, and would like to find a partner. Now, this person's looking for sex or romance, and then this person's like, you know what? Now I just, worked really hard and built this family, and I just really want people to. I want to be this important member of my community, right? I really want to just be this. I really want to give back to the community, right? I want to help people out. So they're looking for recognition. So people will move, and every single one of us will be in different one of these different boxes at any given time. You're in one of these right now. We all are. Now, the interesting thing about this is, you guys know Maslow's hierarchy? Does anybody not know? Does anybody not know what Maslow's hierarchy is? All right, cool. I'm assuming it's yes, but just in case, just to recap, especially if anyone's watching this in the recording. So Maslow's hierarchy is it's another pyramid, which we like. And it's a model that was developed by a psychologist for basically what is the order that humans will make priorities, what they do. And there's a few more. It's got 5 categories. So Maslow's looks like this. Let's pretend my lines are straight. So the bottom is going to be safety. This is like physical, like food, water, oxygen. This is like the body dies if it doesn't get this. The next level up is survival. And this is going to be more like security, or I think they actually call it security. So call it security. So this is you're not going to die immediately, but you've got to prioritize you've got to get yourself more stable. Next up, we've got, I think it's love, connection. There's different versions of it, but I think we'll just call it connection. Connection, love, and relationships. So this is the person that needs to get relationships and social things in. Up here we've got, this one's called esteem. And this is basically where somebody starts getting recognition, getting status, getting kind of moving up in the hierarchy. And then last up here, we've got self-actualization, which is being the best version of yourself, right? Reaching your potential, doing everything you're capable of. So the idea behind this, and this is very, very effective, is we all want to be at the top, right? We want to be our best. We want to reach our potential, do what we're meant to be. However, if your survival gets threatened, right? If all of a sudden a gunman or a tiger or a runaway train comes in, you're going to drop to the bottom of the pyramid. And so you can think of this as a checklist where it goes from the bottom up. So you have to check the bottom to get to the top, and it goes in order. So these 4 needs, or these 4 profiles, are kind of an alternative version of this. All right, so if you were to stack them in order, it would kind of look like this. So is this making sense? All right, awesome. So here's the dark side of this, though. Here's where this gets a little bit just a little bit crazy. So every single one of these, this is what they want. Every single one of these also contains a hidden fear. And this is this person's deepest, darkest fear that they actually are not even consciously aware of. And so if I'm trying to motivate somebody to take action that they want to take that's going to make their lives better, I need them to come to face with their fear and understand what's really online. So if you've done any sort of sales and there's usually some sort of question, you'll ask people what's the consequence if nothing changes? What if you're in the same place from now? Right? Most sales have some version of that, right? Where you want them to explore the alternative. Most people will shy away from it, and most people will give you very half-assed answers. But if I know that this person is a recognition person and that's what they want, then their fear is, any guesses? Not being recognized. Not too complicated. It's kind of obvious, and it's kind of obvious when we put it like this, but most people don't think about it like this, and most people miss this, and you'll get caught up in surface level conversations that the person doesn't actually care about. So, person that's looking for sex, love, and romance, their biggest fear is being alone. Person with money, their fear is losing money. And the person who's in survival, self-preservation, their fear is death or loss. So understand, again, the person that you're talking to probably doesn't know this consciously. right? They're not consciously aware of this because most of this stuff is out of conscious awareness. So when I'm talking to this person, if I want to really motivate this person to take action, I need this person to be honest with themselves. If somebody wants to make more money, I need them to be honest that the cost of not fixing whatever issue they're talking about is losing money, or at least not having the money. Right? If somebody wants sex, love, and romance, but they're too afraid to go do anything different, they're going to be alone. And deep down, they know that, but they don't consciously know that. So through conversation, if I can help this person, and this is where the insight really happens. This is where some of the most powerful insights happen, is when the person can actually be honest about what's really on the line for them. So it's easy to get to understand what they want. It's a little bit more uncomfortable to acknowledge that if I don't fix my dating and social life, I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. It's tough to face the idea, if I'm seeking recognition, I've done all these great things, but I'm not getting recognized for it. It's tough to face the possibility of ending my life having never been recognized for doing anything that was important to me. If I'm talking to somebody who has, I'll give you guys a real life example. I was at an event last year, and one of the guys was literally falling asleep in the event, and not because he was tired, but because diabetes. And if you're, I used to be in the medical field, it's very, very obvious when somebody's having diabetic naps, especially if it's after lunch and if somebody's overweight. So this guy was very clearly overweight and diabetic, and if he doesn't fix it, he's going to lose a foot or die. And he was very resistant to this. He did not want to even go to the doctor. He had every excuse for why he was falling asleep. So I took him through a little Jedi mind trick type of thing that basically helped him detach from it, like disassociate from it, but then also like be honest about it, which is probably not going to do that in this training necessarily. Ask if on Friday, maybe go through it as a bonus. But it's basically got to walk somebody through the 5 stages of grief very, very quickly in a way that lets their brain process whatever it is they don't want to acknowledge and face. So, but basically what I had to do is I had to walk that guy through a little mini story, right? Remember yesterday we talked about, I don't sit there and drown people in facts, because if I sat there and shot off a bunch of facts about diabetes and um, and the state of his healthcare, he's probably just going to tune me out and ignore me. But the way I told him the story, it went straight through to the subconscious part of his brain where he thinks and processes, make decisions, and he accepted it because he realized that if he didn't fix it, he was going to have serious health problems, probably not that far down the road. And so he went and got his blood work done. Turns out he has diabetes, but now he knows it. So he can fix it. So this is what I mean, where you're talking to people and yeah, we want to make money. Yeah, we want to make sales, but people are dealing with all this stuff over here. And when somebody's in one of these categories, this is the scariest thing in the world to them. And we've all been there. Everybody here has been probably had some sort of fear of death or loss. Scary. Everybody here has had some probably tough times with money. The idea of losing a little bit of money is scary or not making it. Everybody here's probably struggled with being alone. And everybody here's probably struggled with not being recognized. These are very human conditions. Now you could nuance, the idea with this, remember, is we're taking complex topics and making them simple and easy to apply that you can literally go do this today. Do you see how you can literally, in every single conversation you have today, I can start to look for which one of these is the person falling into? What does this person need? Right? You can nuance this down. You could go very, very detailed, but detail is the enemy. You want to go simple. Right? I always want to go simple, or at least start simple. So the lens that I want you guys to look through things, the lens that I want you guys to look through today is, what does the person that I'm talking to, what do they want? Like, what do they actually want? Which one of these are they seeking? And the other side of that is, what is this person's greatest fear? Does it make sense? All right, awesome. So don't overcomplicate this. Right, a very simple tendency. And again, this is all like for this week, you guys, we got to start with the basics. We got to start with the tip of the iceberg. This goes very, very deep, but you've got to be good at this is 90% of it. You can be good at the basics here. All the like fancy, really high speed stuff that people always want doesn't really matter if you don't have the basics down. And this is the basics. Every single person you're talking to, ever, 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 at any point in your life, is going to be searching for one of these 4 things. And that's going to be the priority in their life. So when I know this, and this is again a problem that I have with scripted approaches, or here's the way our here's the way our sales script, here's how to pitch our product, here's how to pitch our offer. Well, do you see how I'm probably going to pitch every single one of these people differently, depending on what they want? If somebody's concern is recognition, I'm not going to tell them about how much money they're going to make. I might talk about the impact that they're going to make and the way that people are going to see them, because that's what they actually want. If somebody's concern is survival, self-preservation, I'm not going to start talking about how much they're going to get so much attention from girls or they're going to, or guys or whatever they're into. And I'm not going to start talking about that because I know that's not what this person cares about right now. And a really, really common mistake, here's a huge mistake that I see all the time. Really common mistake, one of the most common mistakes in the world is to project what we think and what we want onto what other people want. Right? A lot of times we think that other people see the world the way that we do, but that's not always true. If you want to know how someone sees the world, you just start asking them questions. And a good way, again, someone asks somebody what do they want, but what was that question earlier? Or what was that question from yesterday? What do you see? What's the picture in your head? What do you see happening? What does that look like to you is another way you can ask that. I want to find the love of my life. Great. What does that look like to you? Now they're going to start describing to me a picture. From yesterday, I want to know, what is this picture? Okay, it's fine. So I want to know what the picture in their head is because the picture in their head is going to tell me everything about what they want, what they're afraid of. And do you see how much I can understand about somebody if I just by looking at it through these filters? I can know a lot about a person, like a lot, like more than they know about themselves. Because again, consciously they're going to say they want one thing, but if I really, really know which one of these categories they fall into, now my entire communication is going to go through this filter. So assignment today is every single conversation you're going to be having with somebody. I want you to figure out which one of these categories they fall into. And then as a bonus, so the assignment is to figure out which category the person you're talking to is in. The bonus, if you want to try something a little bit more advanced, then put all your communication, start filtering all your communication through talking about whatever it is that they want and start filtering it through this lens. So that you know that they want sex, love, or romance, everything, I'm not going to talk about money, I'm not going to talk about recognition, everything I'm going to talk about with this person is what their life looks like when they get sex, love, and romance. All right, if I know that somebody wants recognition, they've checked these other boxes, now they want recognition, everything I talk about, I'm not going to talk about money. I have clients that literally don't care about making more money, which to me is crazy because I'm not there yet. But I have people that like they're just money, they want the money game. They have so much money they don't know what to do with it. Great clients, by the way. But I'm never going to talk to those people about how to make more money and making more money because they don't care. It's not going to resonate with them. And they're way more financially successful than me. But I'm going to talk about to the guy, I'm going to talk to somebody about the recognition, the impact, how they're going to be seen by their community, how they're going to be seen by the people that they want to be respected by. And very, very different. Even though with both people, here's the funny thing about this, even though in both cases, I'm still helping the person to make more money. Right? There's the private equity guy I told you about earlier. Our whole thing is he's launching a new firm and we're helping his firm be a success. But for him, it's not financial. So we're never talking about money as far as like a motivator. So what questions do you guys have about this? And then I'll let everybody go, if any. All right, awesome. So do you guys think you guys can do this today? Yeah. All right, awesome. So just to recap, building on yesterday, everybody's in some sort of emotional state. And a big thing, the easiest thing that we can tap into and see is what's their focus, what's the picture of their head. As I can start to understand the picture in their head, I can figure out which one of these four is the main driver for this person. What does this person want most in the world right now? And then from that, I also know what their fear is. And if I can get that person to be honest with themselves and with me and really, really face their fear and acknowledge what it is that they don't want to happen, as well as what they do want, I now have this person's blueprint, or at least the fundamentals of it. I now literally know exactly what this person needs and what they want. And no matter what the offer is, no matter what it is that I'm trying to sell, this is what I'm actually selling. I'm not selling a product. I'm not selling a service. I'm not selling any of that. I'm selling either recognition, sex, love, and romance, money, or survival, self-preservation. That's it. These are the only 4 things you're ever selling. And if you start having conversations through this frame, you will close a lot more deals, make a lot more money. And part of that, we'll talk more about abundance and charging higher prices on day 4. But to charge one of the biggest breakthroughs with me with charging more money, when I went from, basically charging a few $1,000s to multiple 5 figures for what I do, or 6 figures for some of the corporate stuff. The biggest thing with that wasn't like I do something so much cooler. It was I started having conversations through this lens. And now all of a sudden, somebody that's dying for recognition, now what I do becomes worth a lot more because I'm selling them the recognition they want. I'm selling them the sex, love, romance that they want. I'm selling the person what they want, and this is what they really want. So whatever they tell you, and you've got to, of course, map it to their goals, their specifics, right? Don't disregard what they say, but take what they say and filter it into one of these 4, because this is what the person really, really wants. So run with that. So every single day I want you to, and you can do this in the first 2 minutes of the conversation, sometimes faster. So make this one of the first things you find. And when you have this, you'll literally be able to see through the person. And now I know what this person really wants. So run with this today, guys, and come back with insights tomorrow. I want to hear, and here's a good, by the way, perfectly acceptable insight is I tried it and I couldn't see it. Right. That's great. If you come back with that, we can workshop that. I'll literally help you guys do this live. Right. If you're on a call with somebody, if maybe you couldn't spot it, that's totally fine. This can take a little bit of practice, which is why I'm saying go do this. Don't just sit here and watch this training and then go back to what you're doing. Use this, implement this. So go practice it, and you can internalize this very, very quickly. You can make this an unconscious thing that just happens. So go do it. Yeah, my pleasure, Evergene. Thank you. Thank you guys all for showing up. I appreciate you guys taking the time to come out. Go implement this. Don't sit on this. And if you guys have questions, if you have challenges with it, or you just want to spot check your work, we can do that tomorrow. So thanks, Brian. I appreciate that. Yeah. So go do this, because guys, we're going to keep building everyday builds. I'm going to build tomorrow. I'm going to build on all this. We're going to build. And day 5, I'm going to show you how to put it all together and do some pretty cool stuff with it, as far as just speaking directly to the decision-making part of somebody's brain. So I'll show you how to put it all together. But to really, really make this work for you guys, you've got to go implement this. So if you didn't do much of it yesterday, that's totally fine. Let today be the day that you really start this. So awesome. How can we connect further for more? Keep coming to these on Friday. I'm not gonna have some big sales pitch or anything like that, but if a couple people are interested in working further, going deeper, getting some hands-on help, I'll drop that opportunity. Like I said, there's not gonna be a big pitch. I'll just give you an opportunity to do further stuff. So Brian, keep showing up, and if you're here on Friday, which I appreciate your words, I'll give you an opportunity to do more stuff if it makes sense. So thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Go read people today. All right, bye now.